Also new tonight, a couple of spring breakers from Greensboro are accused of drugging and raping a woman who later died in a hotel room in South Florida. Miami Beach police say 21-year-old Evoir Collier and 24-year-old Dorian Taylor also stole the victim's credit card and her cash. The victim is 24-year-old Christine Engelhardt, whose family says she traveled to Miami alone. Both men are facing a number of charges already. Manslaughter or even murder could be added in the future.
Okay, so this young lady, Christine Engelhardt, she's the victim. She ain't even know. So, the obligatory, could you imagine if the roles were reversed? I mean, could you imagine? I know you probably can't imagine. That aside, I chronicled this. I knew something like this was going to end up happening. And there's more. Spring break, whenever our kids are there, Christine Engelhardt, your parents should have never let you go down there. That was the wrong place for you. You didn't belong there. When dudes saw you, they saw food. Now, this could have happened, and it does happen, at her spring breaks. But during Wakanda spring break, the girl ended up dead. Okay? This happens 1,000 times. White boys be doing this all the regular. This girl ended up dead. However, last week, there was a case at spring break that got completely ignored. Just to show you the level of criminality going on down there in spring break. In Wakandan spring break. Last week, a case happened that was completely ignored.
Crime alert in Fort Lauderdale after a tourist was sexually assaulted by a man who was allegedly posing as an Uber driver.
And now police have a warning for everyone using rideshare services. Local 10's Christian De La Rosa live with the disturbing details. Christian.
This victim is 18 years old. She's from Alabama and was in town for spring break. Southwest 3rd Avenue outside the Backyard Bar and Music venue is where police say the 18-year-old woman ordered an Uber Saturday night but got into the wrong car. The victim says the driver, 37-year-old Shapsley Silenciu, played along, making her think he was her Uber driver, telling her he would take her home. Well, indeed he did. The police report says he brought her here to his apartment inside this building on Southeast 3rd Avenue, saying he needed to get his wallet to pay for gas. The young woman followed him inside, where he raped her.
It's a horrible situation, and it's easy for everyone to kind of Monday quarterback and say, oh, I would have never done that, but we don't know her frame of...
Pass. Full pass. I'm talking about no look pass, Magic Johnson style. However, if you're an Uber driver, if he don't have nothing on the dash, he don't have the thing, none of the decals, none of that stuff, she must have been drunk. So let's just admit that this young girl was drunk. Okay? This young lady was drunk out of her mind. And that's what I call it, white girl wasted, because white girls, I've been around them, they get stupid drunk. And I can believe if she was stupid drunk, she could have, and this guy knew it, he took advantage of her. But young ladies, just, First, she gets in the wrong car. And I don't want to blame the victim, because you should be able to get in the wrong car. Somebody be like, hey, what you doing? Aren't you my Uber? Nah, get your drunk ass out of my car. Or even, no, sorry, young lady, you're in the wrong car. I'm not an Uber. This dude saw the opportunity and was like, oh, word? Yeah. And listen, man, this story got no attention.
The young woman followed him inside where he raped her.
It's a horrible situation, and it's easy for everyone to kind of Monday quarterback and say, oh, I would have never done that, but we don't know her frame of mind. Now, Uber tells you the tag number, it tells you the vehicle description, so we're asking everyone, if you use this app, you know someone who uses it regularly, to remind them to do that fact check before they get inside the vehicle.
This spring breaker from Alabama says after she was raped, Silencio drove her to Bal Harbor, where she was staying. Investigators say she was able to memorize the vehicle's license plate, helping officers find the man and arrest him.
You're to have no contact, direct or indirect, with the alleged victim. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you saw him right there in court. It turns out Silencio is an Uber driver, but again, he was not assigned to this woman. Take a look at Uber's response this afternoon. They're saying, quote, everyone has the right to travel safely, and our thoughts are with the victim after this horrific experience. While this trip did not take place on the Uber app, we immediately removed the driver's access to the app as soon as this was reported to us. Back out here live, the suspect is in jail. He was granted a $50,000 bond. We're live in Fort Lauderdale. I'm Christian De La Rosa, Local 10 News.
All right. So our two buddies from North Carolina, they had a whole world of trouble. Unlike our friend, the Uber driver, or the Uber imposter, they ain't getting $50,000 bond, which means you get $5,000 and you can get out. They not getting out for $5,000. This is a big case. This one's being covered. They couldn't ignore it anymore, what was going on down there.
The victim couldn't even pick up a phone to call the police or 911 after they did whatever they did to her. And so there's probable cause for both counts 1 and 2. I'm concerned he's a flight risk. He's not from the state of Florida.
Apparently, we reviewed the video surveillance. At this point, we noticed that the decedent or victim was not stable on her feet. Basically, they walked with her into the elevator. At one point, before they entered the elevator, we see on video surveillance that this defendant was holding her from behind her, holding by the neck, so she would stand still, because obviously she was intoxicated or drugged. Once inside the apartment, everything inside. Testimony from the co-defendant on this case was that they had sex with her multiple times, and once she was unconscious or out, they remained inside the unit, did not call for assistance or help, and began to take all her items from inside the apartment, which we have this defendant on different surveillance videos using credit cards at various locations in Miami Beach.
Man, so they already snitching. They're already snitching. Avory Collier, 21, and Dorian Taylor, 24. So cops were able to track down Collier, who fit the description of one of the men in the surveillance footage, going around using the credit card, the girl's credit card. Just going around willy-nilly on camera using the girl's credit card. What part of the criminal justice system being racist and prejudiced and the prison to pipe school to prison pipeline? What part of that does this have anything to do with? Mass incarceration. What does any of this have to do with? They drugged the girl, raped her, left her for dead in the hotel room, and went around on camera willy-nilly using her credit cards. So our friend Collier, the younger one, 21 years old, he rats immediately. You can't even call in Crump and say, our boys are being targeted. Because you know the spring break is racist now. Because they cracking down on crime down there in spring breaks now as a race thing. If this boy didn't snitch, you could have had a Crump type lawyer, Lee Merritt or somebody, come down there and be like, yo, how come our kids are being, our kids come down here and all of a sudden and they're being framed for, it was consensual. He could have really, and especially in this climate, had he not snitched, had this boy not snitched and ratted out his buddy, they could have took this case to at least a trial and been like, look, the white girl was with it. She gave us her credit card. We didn't know she was da-da-da-da-da. We out of town and we being railroaded because we're black and she's white. They could have pulled something like that, man. But he ratted. He confessed that he and his pal, Dorian Taylor, had met the woman at a local restaurant. And that Taylor gave her a green pill. Collier told police he believed the drug was Percocet, a powerful pain reliever. He allegedly said that he went along with Taylor as they planned to have sex with the victim. Both men who are from Greensboro. That's where my family's from. That's crazy. That's where my family's from. That's where my family came up to D.C. back in the 50s from. They still down there, though. A lot of them still down there. Both men who are from Greensboro were booked into a Miami-Dade jail Sunday. Charges against them include burglary with battery, sexual assault, sexual battery, petty theft, and fraudulent use of a credit card. They're going to throw out that petty theft and that fraudulent use of a credit card. And they're going to nail them to the wall on that burglary with battery and that sexual battery. And they're going to up that the rate. And they're going to get a murder charge in here now. Or manslaughter. They probably can't get them for murder, but they're going to get them for manslaughter. These boys is not going to be... The next time they come to Greensboro, the next time they set foot in Greensboro, they going to be in their 40s. Investigators are still trying to determine the victim's cause of death and whether it was due to an overdose from the pill supplied by the men. If that's the case, the two could also potentially face manslaughter or murder charges. Their arrests come as local authorities grapple with crowds of unruly spring breakers who have flocked to the party city recently, even instituting an 8 p.m. curfew to crack down on the rowdy revelry. The rowdy revelry.
Investigators say the victim was drugged and died during the assault. Local 10's Christian De La Rosa is live with more. Christian.
Calvin Nicole, this is the hotel where police say that woman was found dead. 21-year-old Everett Collier and 24-year-old Darian Taylor are the two men charged with drugging, robbing, and raping a woman on South Beach. Investigators say the 24-year-old victim from Pennsylvania was found partly nude and lifeless inside her room at the Albion Hotel on James Avenue Thursday.
Couldn't even pick up a phone to call the police or 911 after they did whatever they did to her.
Miami Beach police officers say the two men met their victim at a restaurant, gave her a pill, and went to her hotel.
They had sex with her multiple times. And once she was unconscious or out, they remained inside the unit, did not call for assistance or help, and began to take all her items, cell phone, credit cards, and cash.
So, sir, I'm holding you no bond. I'm not setting a bond. He's being held no bond. It's a very serious charge. He battered a helpless victim.
Our heart bleeds, and our prayers go out to the family that had to be informed, that they lost a loved one. If there's any type of connection between, that situation and her death, that we go ahead and we support a full prosecution of the law.
Miami Beach Police Chief right there reacting to what happened. His detectives say that at least one of the two men arrested was also recorded on several surveillance video cameras from nearby businesses using the victim's credit cards to purchase items. The medical examiner's office is still waiting to confirm or working to confirm the exact cause of death. If it is determined that this woman died of an overdose that could affect the charges faced by these two men, they could end up facing charges for manslaughter. We'll keep you posted. We're live in Miami Beach. I'm Christian De La Rosa, Local 10 News.